Today is June 7th, 2025, my birthday. 2 years ago today, Lighthouse and the cartel publicly made fun of FBI agent John, called him out, mocking him. I was in Walmart getting my hair done. I went to go to the bathroom. They're outside the bathroom. FBI agent John fell for the stunt at tapes before. Oh, come on now. It was only a stunt. You're kidding. You mean that FBI agent actually fell for that? Is that what's going on? You mean John actually fell for it? You're kidding. It was only a stunt. Is that what's going on? FBI agent John fell for the stunt and tapes before that were only a stunt? Is that why they got away with it? Because FBI agent John fell for the stunt and tapes before. Stole videos of it. Inside Walmart, tape and audio. Like last year about this time, Faith Family Church, the Stark County Sheriffs that worked my case. We all know they made fun of Agent John for falling for this. And this whole thing is a mess. July 9th, 23, I was in Trinity Gospel. Cartel was in there. The FBI wouldn't dare fix this after what one of their agents said. They dared him. People are like, I kept waiting. I thought the bastards have confessed. They dared him. SWAT teams, right? Hailstones from heaven. Be like Waco, they'll surround him and get him. Nothing. Not a damn thing. People are like, is the FBI afraid of him? They saw videos of them mocking that federal agent. Even to 5-year-olds. We've seen videos of them making fun of Will. I know. Poking at him. Last night, I was at work outside my client's work. There was a guy. I went over and talked to Dr. Haben, my kid's pediatrician. He said there was never any sign of abuse on those children at all. No sign, no nothing of any kind of abuse or neglect. And the last time he seen her, she was in a lot of pain. They said it was her muscles locked up and the rest was medication errors. I didn't think about it. Where have you been and who are you? Because even teenagers, old ladies, we all know what was wrong with her before as her muscles locked up. And it was a medication error that made her sick before. That's why she swelled up so bad. So, even the cartel has acknowledged it. So who are you? Who are you? That you just found out when even old ladies over a year ago, teenagers, the cartel, we all know the only thing that was wrong with her before is her muscles locked up and everything else was medication errors. Why do you think she swelled up so bad? Duh. That was the cartel. So who was that? Last night. See, Bill from the Freemasons, big scam. See, this is why I don't mind going shopping at Summit Mall. This whole thing, they laugh about it. Cackle. How Bill from the Freemasons scammed everybody into helping out. Had some guy go in and drug her up and tell her to say that. Can you imagine some guy going in there and drugging her up and tell her to say something like that? Had another guy tape her in the shower, washing herself. Imagine somebody taping you in the shower, washing yourself, and put that in another room. Then he ran a contest off of it. Who can steal all her money? And scammed everybody into helping out, and they're cackling how he scammed everybody. May 25th, 25 in Hollister. April 24th, 25. The Texas group was up there. And the cartel girls are walking by. Nobody can say a word. Michelle told on them. That doctor was never one of hers, but worse for them, and they had lied. It was one of hers. No one can say a word, and they're laughing. Texas group was up there. Muslim women, hijabs, Iraqi people speaking other languages, walking around us. Some guy off in the distance, you tell that guy Will up there that was to pull off a scam here to join us. That was all ruined because Michelle told on him that doctor was never one of hers, but worse for them, and they had lied. You tell them we said take care of her for telling on them. Well, I've been up there several times since then. Several. And they're like, are they crazy, that other drug cartel threatening Michelle? Because she told on him for that doctor not being one of hers, but worse for them, and they like him. Are they crazy? Yeah, everybody's been talking up there how it's Bill from the Freemasons' big scam. Now, Michelle already told an agent March 27th, 25, that of my head being crushed in, how they tried to have me killed or leave me incompetent, and it didn't work. After 1 o'clock in the morning, agent was outside talking. He got it out of her, and that doctor was never one of mine, but works for them, and they had lied he was my doctor from before, and that I don't even know who he is. That he got it out of Dave, too. That a girlfriend from before me had him marry me so he could get a job at my dad's factory, so she'd have free insurance. And he could give her extra money. My whole marriage was a scam. Okay? And because it's all ruined, 3 days later, March 30th, 25, the demonic man that lives in my old apartment, hadn't said anything in a year, starts the drug scam down here. Of the dirty doctor. How he was even in the office when they scammed that agent. When he asked her about that doctor, she said she didn't know who he is. It's not my doctor. They lied. They're lying to that agent. Okay? And when he asked her who about that doctor, she said she didn't know who he was. He knew she was lying and turned her back over to us and said he didn't care what we did to her. Like he's so big and tough. Where that church is sending out emails asking people to help harass her. And how make sure she has nothing in life. Our religious group was there first. He don't even hear himself. That makes his religious group a terrorist group. Hurting people. Then, April 3rd, 25, outside Dutch Valley Restaurant. Heavyset white lady walks out ahead of me and Carl. We go to get in the car, and a guy with a beard follows us out. And the lady said, it's all ruined. Somebody had told, that doctor was never one of hers, but worse for them, and they had lied. He was one of hers, and it's out. It's ruined. Well, April 17th, 25, Sheets, gas station. Michelle was following me around. Carl seen her in the gas station, and she walks out, and up to a blue SUV, and then big government SUVs come to a stop when she starts talking. Got her under surveillance. Said, I talked to the police up there. They said, how dumb was I? Confessing to that guy that about my head being bashed in, that they had tried to kill me. Okay? And it didn't work. I have a dent the size of a ball peen hammer. And that doctor was never one of hers. He works for them, and they had lied. He was one of my doctors from before. That he's an agent and she's an informant. We all could go to jail for this. And how she really had liked him. Well, the FBI shows up April 19th, 25, Hartville Flea Market. How dumb are these people? Actually trying this with us. She calls the FBI hotline. They immediately walk into an FBI office. Confess they were illegally monitoring her on their own. Already knew she called the FBI. And trust me, nobody fell for the dirty doctor scam, taping her unaware before confessing her crime. Sat on it till they wanted a divorce. That's a crime in itself, several. HIPAA. Aiding and abetting crimes, if there was actually a crime, there wasn't. Fraud scheme in it with people accessory to cover up attempted murder. HIPAA violations, privacy acts. That's a lot of crimes right there. Like they said, these people didn't realize putting the word doctor name on it, how illegal it made it. Okay? And then the FBI goes on, and it sounded mechanical on top of it. We knew it. They altered everything. It was them and not her. And nobody ever fell for the tape of weird with yourself. We always knew it was photoshopped or washing yourself in the shower, and they photoshopped that. And they photoshopped everything. But if they were going to be that dumb and try this with us, we told Agent John to go up that church and tell on her for calling the hotline before he talked to her. And to act dumb like these people. Find out who's all involved. That's why he was up at Apostolic Church of Barberton, telling people he didn't care I was being drugged, being raped, because somebody called me a faker. It was an act. So the other night outside my apartment, somebody was outside. Want that agent to show up here. And I want him to explain himself. He said he didn't care what we did to her, and I found out a big bunch of drug dealers went to jail off of this. I want him to explain. He fooled you. The federal agent fooled you. Put your big boy panties on. You tried to scam him, and he scammed you back. Was on the news in Akron. I was working up there. The despicable act of some law enforcement feeding women and children back to the drug dealers. It should never happen, but it is happening to get the drug dealers. It's effective, but sick. They get the legal police surveillance of them confessing crimes and doing crimes, and they can go out and arrest them. Got them dead to rights. Just needed that court order to bug my phone, bug my car, my homes, and have an officer document everything every day. FBI informant. My friend Maddie, 2.5 hours away, had a friend on the police department, knew of my case. We met out in Worcester, January 20th, 23. Bunch of men come in, sit around me. He said, I got a friend on the police department. I'm like looking around. I thought you brought your police department? Okay. And he said, they knew of the case that agent opened with you. Knew about the Texas group involved in your case. I call him Kingsman, because if you all work for the King from Texas, we are his men. Dave hired us. He's a drug lord. If you look him up, he's U.S. military, Iraqi translator, went into the dark web malware, Fentanyl King. That's where the Iraqi, the Muslim women, okay? He's a drug lord, okay? He's I said the Kingsman, is that what they call their? No, I named him that because they said they were the men that work for him, okay? He said, there was a retired judge in Texas involved in this big human trafficking scam. They went down to question him. He killed himself. There's another retired judge involved in this. He said the state. He said they found 35 people tied up in a railroad car. They don't even know how they got them in there. He said in African American people, they were just taking, shooting them, and throwing their bodies along railroad tracks. They're going to be using that case that agent opened with you to get these drug traders, human trafficking people. You have so much hurt and pain in your eyes. And then he drills me, Tom, I'm stuttering. I walked outside. Those men followed me out. Were the U.S. Marshals. We're going to be taking care of this. That agent left her there. Can you imagine? He left her there. And then he lied to him. The shower scene in the other room that they always do. Who would care if she wasn't? It was probably them and not her. They already confessed it was them years ago. Laughing at people or falling for it. Okay? We'll take care of them. 3 weeks later, they did the 800 people sweep, where they would brag the cartels were taking turns paying for the harassment. Bill's big initiation into the drug cartel, pulling a scam on somebody. They're all helped out. All caught under police surveillance. Okay? In April of 23, it's like April, 8th of 23, I'm up in Hartville. 2 of the cartel guys are there. So are 2 federal agents. I walk in, they said, if Will used your case to infiltrate our gang, you tell him to give her your money, we're out of here. Well, those 2 feds looked at him, laughed, and said, we actually did. I hate being monkey in the middle. Then they did more sweeps of 150, 200, found hundreds of children. Every time I see them, I seen a lot in Akron a couple years ago. And last year, and I kept reporting. Do you know they found another 35 kids? You see them where you report them where you see them. They can follow them around. And if they still have people here in Ohio, they can find them. Would you want to be chained up in a basement used for a sex slave? You know, 3 days after Michelle told on him, that idiot in my old apartment started the scam in Louisville. It's already debunked. Telling everybody how he was in the office when that agent, when they were fooling him, like he's big and tough. Then they're like redoing every scam, including Melissa's kids. Because I called the FBI, everybody was being followed around. Where Dave was complaining I had all kinds of men around me. Oh, they want you, Karen. It's like they don't want me. I thought, dear God, what part of my God I had an FBI agent in my office? You didn't understand all these men show up and you didn't think they were cops? I'm looking at him like, he's like, I said they don't want me. Trust me, they don't want me. I'm thinking, dear God, they're cops. What are you talking about? And I keep looking at him like he's stupid. And he kept saying it. I'm like, trust me, they don't want me. And he's like, they're all around you in stores. And I'm like, maybe they're locals. And I'm like looking around. And one of the tops of the lampshade looked different. The little knob on top. I'm looking around. I thought, oh my God, he thinks it's only the cartel. Is here, he thinks the FBI left. He didn't realize they're all still here. I had to stop myself from giggling. He thought they fooled him, and they left. They all did. They didn't go anywhere. No. He realized those were cops and federal agents. Well, they were fooling everyone around. They caught Melissa telling the kids to lie, friends with Dave's girlfriend, on Thanksgiving of 18 in a legally bunked house. They said they wanted the house for Auntie Shell and Papa. Grandma needed to get out. And then to Flora, they were making everything up. They were games of pretend. Laughing. Go to John, ask him what's going on. I don't know. Melissa have him make up something because of divorce. Told him you're moving out and going through a divorce, but don't worry about it, Mom. Nobody can say anything bad about you. She have her church people make up something too. But don't worry about it. Nobody could say anything bad about you. Just be made up because of the divorce. You shouldn't have said anything till it happened, but I did. And since nobody can ever say anything bad about you, don't worry about it. Excuse me. And like Flora said, I had to wait till Flora stated it. A year later, laughing about it. At BB's first party. Josh is like, yeah, don't say that again. It's not true. She's like, of course it's not true. Of course it never happened. We made it up. They were games of pretend. Laughing and chuckling. Only thing they would tell me is they make up something, call me a bad word. They came up to me, Melissa's so stupid. She made everything up when you were fishing with Dave. She's actually that stupid. She didn't check where you were. Right after Thanksgiving of 18, since they sold the login the first month of the case, second, everybody had it. It's all out in the open anyways. Had a huddle, the FBI and the police. Why they having those kids make that shit up? Oh, they're trying to scare her out of the house. That's it. We interviewed her whole family. They spoke highly of her. Okay? And the police and vets were talking, Melissa could go to jail for involving herself. Her kids could go to juvie. And they said, well, her kids are little. Why don't we just write it up that she was showing off for David and the new girlfriend? Okay? That way we don't have to arrest her. Had pity on her. They're documented mean games of pretend. Why do you think they didn't go to a hospital? Why do you think the police weren't called? Why do you think I was never questioned or prosecuted? Police were already there. They caught her telling her kids lying, her kids stating they were lying. In a legally bunked house for the girlfriend to get the house. They talked about that girl lying everywhere. They used to scream it on the streets of Louisville. Can't. Investigators were mad. Her family ought to be ashamed of themselves. Karen's risking her life to get the information on these people. And they're sitting around making up stuff, laughing. Behind her back. They ought to be ashamed. And some of them call them fucking lying dirty little bastards. October 5th, 21, I was in Huntington Bank. 21, they were talking about that girl lying in Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Illinois. Went on a couple trips that year. Because they sold the login, everybody knows they lied. October 5th, 21, I was in Huntington Bank. They were talking about that girl and her kids lying. We go to leave. The person I was with went, who's that crazy Melissa? Everywhere we go, they talk about that girl lying. It's like the ex-daughter-in-law, friends with ex's girlfriend, had the kids make up some mean games that pretend on Thanksgiving of 18 in front of the police. He's like, is she crazy? I'm like, yes. So, see, that's where that investigator, I don't know who he was. He was outside my clients last night. I went, Dr. Haben, my kid's pediatrician for 18 years. Said I went over and talked to him. There was never any signs of any abuse on her children. Never. And the last time he seen her, she was in a lot of pain. And I didn't think about her muscles locking up from all those surgeries and everything swelling up from medication errors. I didn't think about it. Well, who's the guy that just finding that one out? Told you. You have abuse you cannot hide. You can't hide. There's trauma in their face, their body, got marks. And I don't think Bill from the Freemason having his dirty Dr. Jack the Ripper rapist friend break in and lace a drink or stab me with a date rape drug, beat and rape me, and tell me to say something stupid like that. Like the police said, we all know Karen never hurt anyone. They told people that years ago. We all know she never hurt anyone. She doesn't even have it in her to. The guys that work my case, ridiculous for any child to be afraid of Karen. She's nothing but good in love. You can't disrespect me in front of the officers that work my case. See, I went in there like, my pediatrician was my kid's doctor from 1984 to 2002, and when our insurance elapsed, I couldn't afford him. I'd went in like 2001, 2002. Every time Dave had a bad day, he beat on me, and then he'd be sorry for a year or two, and then the next time he had a bad day, he beat on me. And be sorry for a year or two. I went in and I was talking to him. He said, you know, Karen, he said, I've never one time had to worry about you abusing your children. Never had to worry about them being mistreated or neglected. They come in here and they're fine. But you come in here with bruises. The only one I worry about in that household is you. See, there was no document of any kind of neglect or abuse. Ever. Not even a sign of it. Now, do I think it's funny that Bill from the Freemason, a man I've never spoke to, and I want to know how you can look yourself in the mirror? A woman you've never met in person. Never met. My ex, your attorney friend, and dirty Dr. Jack the Ripper rapist friend. Break in and stalk me. Photoshop that shower scene in the other room in a scam. You took videos of my grandkids going potty, and they sold it on porn sites, and people laughed they did. How do you live with yourself, exploiting women and children? And have your Jack the Ripper doctor friend break in and drug me up, and you had to tell me what you drugged me up and told me to say. It used to make me vomit. Have diarrhea, I didn't know, because you don't remember with those kind of drugs. Wake up with bruises, throwing up, heart racing, severely infected. Personally, I was swollen, pushed open and down. Going to the doctor. Is it the dirty well water I'm showering in? Is it giving me cancer? Is it infecting my personal life? No memory. I told you I have 3 weird memories of I thought they were nightmares. Sound of footsteps, a white man's arm with a white dress shirt, gray pinstripes, and a syringe coming at me. And screaming and feeling like my back's being ripped open to my chest and every cell in my body. Screaming in agony. Agony. can't see, can't breathe, and I thought it was a nightmare. And here, where you think it's a dirty, find out it's a dirty doctor, Jack the Ripper rapist, syringe drugging me, beating me, and raping me. How do you live with yourself, a woman that you've never even met, never even talked to? How do you look in the mirror knowing you victimized somebody like that? How do you live every day knowing you're such a monster? And to drug somebody up and tell them say stuff like that. You can't just do that. Then they run around, oh, they verified it for Will. Will is a con man and a human trafficker running scams on people. He's not God and he's Satan possessed. Hurry, somebody like that. And what would you verify? You're part of a drug beat and rape? Huh? You're accessory to it? You know, where Dixie said, Melissa said, the group of people they hired to watch her and do those things. Dixie's so dumb, you need to stop playing with that dumb girl. Where they said they got special permission of the chief of police, there's no such thing. They lied to that dumb girl to do all those things. But she admitted, Melissa told her that she was part of hiring those people to hurt me. She needs to go to jail for that one. Stop playing with the dumb girl. The way they explained it made total sense because she has no IQ. I want you to think of that. Stop playing with her. The laws of surveillance, you cannot set up on cameras, listening devices, is cyber stalking. Doctors can never tape you unaware. HIPAA and Privacy Act. The only thing you can do is Ohio's a one-party state that you can tape a conversation while you're talking to them, like family get-togethers, cookouts. We all know that. And then if you give somebody permission to tape you on tape, you really have nothing to say.
Hey, baby.